Hello.
Hi.
Special edition.
Special edition Thursday open day.
We literally just watched the open announcement.
Yeah.
It's still playing on the TV. The athletes are doing it in Spain as we're talking to each other in the closet right now. So we wanted to do a little quick sort of mini podcast on what's the workout, what's some strategy, what's going to happen tomorrow for Friday Night Lights. So what's the workout?
So it's a repeat of, what is it, 14.4?
14.4.
Which it's actually, this is the first time they've done like high difficulty movements, I think, in the first week. But I think this is a great option for doing that because most people won't have to worry about the muscle ups, but the workout is 60 cals, 50 toes to bar.
60 cal row.
60 cal row, sorry. 50 toes to bar, 40 wall balls, 30 power cleans, 20 muscle ups. So most people,
a 14-minute time cap.
The 14-minute time cap. So most people looking at that being like, oh no, the muscle ups, I don't have any muscle ups. You're not going to have to worry about that. Let's just kind of like take a few steps back to like yesteryear. Back in 2014, we looked up some of our, not all of our top scores, but some of our top scores in the gym. So Ian McLean, who was very fit back then and still is now, he got 18 muscle ups. Okay. So he didn't even finish a full round, right? And he was very fit back then, still is. Bonnie, Ryan, I'll say next. Ryan got 11 muscle ups back in 2014. Bonnie got 4 muscle ups. And you got 2 muscle ups.
Yeah. So I was surprised to learn that 2014 was 9 years ago. Did you guys know this?
That's a long time ago.
2014 doesn't sound that long ago.
Yeah.
I was 30 and I was at about my peak fitness. Yeah. 2015 was probably peak fitness for me. But those people, we were putting up top scores. We sent a team to regionals that year. We were competing at a level beyond the open. So keeping that in mind, sort of peak fitness back then, I got 2 muscle ups. Yeah. So whatever.
Yeah. I think getting to the muscle ups is a big accomplishment, right? Because you're grinding through bigger sets of all these movements. And so everything's tougher when you're doing big sets. So let's break it down, movement by movement. So 60 cal row for both guys and girls.
Yeah. No break for the girls.
Yeah. So obviously the guys are going to be a little bit faster on that with the exception of a few. Which means you're looking at, depending on how strong you are on the rower, you're probably looking at somewhere between 3 and 6 minutes just to get through that row, right?
Yeah.
And that's scaled and RX. Everybody has to do that same 60 cal row. So that's a lot of your time potentially eaten up just with that first movement.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you're looking at your rower and it's 720 calories per hour, that's 12 cals a minute. So at that pace, the row is going to take you 5 minutes. Yeah. As you go higher and higher. So I always think like 600 cals, that's 10 cals a minute, 660, 720, 780, keep adding. Those are extra. So I know like 12 cals a minute is like a moderate pace for me. Pushing it is like 15, 16. So I know that I'm on that rower for like 4 to 5 minutes. I do remember vividly doing this workout next to one of our competitive athletes back then, John Barkman. And he was done the 60 cal row and I was at 30. And I remember being like, what the F is going on here? I don't usually take twice as long. And it started off this whole thing about what's the difference between rowing for cals and meters? Yeah.
So it's like, if you're going into this, be like, okay, how fast do I go on the rower? I think it's important to note that the second movement is toes to bar. So there's going to be a lot of like grip interference there. If you blow up on the rower, you're going to be doing small assets on those toes to bar. So you don't want to blow up on the rower. You have to push the pace to, probably an uncomfortable level, but it can't be max effort. You can't come out hot and do 30 cals in your first minute and then end up doing 15 and then 10 and then 5.
I have made a mistake.
Yeah. So it needs to be, I would say faster guys probably need to push for around that 20 cal per minute range.
Which is 2,400. On the screen, 24 cals an hour?
No, it's not that much. I don't know.
Can I not math?
I don't know.
I
never think about it that way. I know.
And I'll get back to you.
Keep doing your mental math. So 1,200. If you're shooting for around 20 cals in a minute, which is like, I can push that and it's not like maximal effort, but for 3 minutes in a row, it's going to be fatiguing for sure. So I might try to shoot closer to like 15 or 18 or something like that. It might even be a good strategy to kind of push your first minute a little bit and then kind of like cruise through your next ones. And then your last 30 seconds, maybe slow that pace down a little bit just so you can kind of recover going into the toes to bar.
Finish.
I was going to say, you want it to be that you can get off the rower and go straight to the bar and start doing reps.
Knowing that you need your arms more so for toes to bar, your grip and your pulling strength, I would very much favor my legs on the row. I would try to push a strong leg drive and just a minimal little quick finish, tap and let go. As soon as that row handle touches your chest, you need to relax and let it go. Don't fall into the trap of resting in a flexed arm with the handle touching your chest. Just like leave the arms out of it as much as you can. About 80% of the power in your rowing stroke comes from your legs anyway. So don't try to blow up your arms.
I like to as well. When I pull, I have a tight grip, but then when I shoot my arms out, I relax my grip and I just hold the handle with my like fingers, and it just like relax the grip, tighten the grip, relax the grip, tighten the grip.
Just enough it doesn't fly out of your hands.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of like a hook.
Question for you.
Oh, okay.
If you're rowing for calories versus meters, should you change the damper setting or should you row differently?
Oh, I never do.
The answer is no. Remember we got into a big debate. There's a blog post up from years ago. Me, Ryan, and Lance got into a big argument about
a heated debate,
a heated nerd debate about the difference between rowing for meters and calories. It devolved to the point that Ryan disassembled a rower so we could figure out how the sensor in the flywheel is keeping track of everything.
Of course he did.
This is a real thing that happened.
Of course.
The hypothesis was that it's different. The answer was that it's not. Whatever is your best technique for rowing fast is your best technique for rowing fast, regardless of whether it's meters or calories.
There you go.
Whatever strokes per minute, whatever damper setting. The difference is that the way the algorithm works is that you get punished more for slacking, for going slower when it's calories than for meters.
Yeah.
But whatever's your best technique is your best technique. But if you go slow, you're like exponentially punished time-wise, which is why when John Barkman and I were doing this, I was like, if we were rowing 1,000 meters, I'd be at about 800 when he gets off. Like I'm not usually at 500 when he gets off, right? I'm not going half, but when the calories, he was at 60 calories and I was at 30. So because I'm slower, I got punished for not being able to generate as much power as he could.
And
so you got to try hard.
And being punished for being slow, part of that is like keeping the flywheel moving, right? So the ideal stroke rate is 26 to 30 strokes per minute to keep the flywheel moving constantly. So it doesn't like move fast, slow down, move fast, slow down. Because everybody knows that first pull or two is much more challenging because the flywheel is at a dead stop. So that your goal is to maintain your stroke rate at 60 to 30 strokes per minute, and then just try to pull as hard as you can to allow you to like maintain a pace for 30 or 3 minutes.
26 to 30 strokes per minute.
Yeah, what did I say?
You said 60 to 30.
Ooh, yeah.
Do not pull 60 strokes a minute.
60
That's
too
a
fast.
mistake.
26 to 30.
26 to 30.
People are just blowing up in the first 30 seconds. My coach told me to do this.
So below 26, the flywheel, you're breaking the inertia of the flywheel. Above 30 or maybe 32, now you're just going too fast and not enough power, not enough recovery time. So 26 to maybe 32 is that sweet spot.
So faster people, we're looking at probably close to 3 minutes-ish, give or take. And then slower people, it's probably going to be closer to like 5 or 6 minutes.
Yeah, I'm living there. I'm with you guys.
So we get off the rower, we go to the pull-up bar, 50 toes to bar. That's a lot. Fortunately, we've done that quite a few times. We've done high volume, like big unbroken sets many times in the last year. So you should have a pretty good strategy as to what you need to do to get through those 50s. Maybe we do conservative 10 sets of 5. Maybe we push 5 sets of 10. Maybe if you're really good, you can go 20, 15, 15 or something like that. You just need to have a strategy so that you don't, again, blow up in your first set or two and then end up doing slow singles at the end. So again,
although slow singles, if you get there, is a better strategy than trying to do sets with double swings and taking long breaks.
For sure.
So that's always like plan B. If we're off the wagon, if you lost your rhythm, quick ones, save the grip by like dropping down every time and not doing the double swing thing every time that shreds your hands.
So as far as timing goes, like I'm sure there's people out there that can get that done in like 90 seconds or 2 minutes or whatever. I said approximately 3 to 5 minutes for most people. Realistically, if you struggle with toes to bar, it's probably going to be another 5 minutes on those toes to bar. Faster people are going to probably be maybe under 3. Then we move to the wall ball.
Let me tell you about my favorite thing about wall balls in the open. 9-foot wall balls for the girls. Yeah. We always make the girls throw to 10 feet. We always have. And then once in a while, like once a year, we get to treat ourselves to 9-foot wall balls. Is my favorite thing because for my little short ass, that's the difference between having to squat jump every rep or not.
Yeah, for sure.
I can just throw and hit the 9-foot line. So yay.
And all the vertically challenged males out there are shaking their fist at CrossFit. Like, damn you.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. 10 feet for the guys, 9 feet for the girls, 2014, the usual wall balls that we do. 40 in a row, again, we do that often. We do sets of 50, we do sets of 30. So you should have a pretty good idea of how many wall balls you can do to like maintain a good pace and kind of chip away to get done. I would say coming off the toes bar, for most people, your cardio is going to be down a little bit, right? You're not going to be breathing as heavy as coming off the rower. So it's probably a good time to kind of push the pace on the wall balls to get through it quickly. Yeah. I would ideally, 20-20 or, bigger sets if possible. Yeah. You don't want to spend a lot of time standing around staring at your ball.
A lot of people can do all 40 in a row.
For sure.
We've done workouts, like you said, with 50 or even 75 where people have just done an unbroken set. So that's one option.
Yeah. You're fatigued going into it, but I think you will have a little bit of recovery from those toes to bars if you're slower on the toes to bar.
Yeah. And your legs will be fresh. Right? Yeah. Because you were using your upper body more. And then we get to 30 cleans.
30 cleans. Grace weight.
Yeah. 135, 95, but not the jerk, just the power clean.
We're doing the easy part of Grace. Woo. Yeah. The power clean's the easiest part of Grace. We do this weight all the time. We do it in lots of volume. Mm-hmm. And honestly, the jerk is the hardest part of Grace for sure. So 30 cleans. There's going to be some strategy on this as well. Some people are better just doing drop singles for all 30 reps. Mm-hmm. And when I say drop singles, it's not like do a rep and rest and do a rep and rest. It's like you follow the bar down towards the ground. And by the time it settles, you've already re-gripped it and you're ready to clean again.
I'm going to get out my earplugs.
Yeah, it's going to be loud in
there.
It's a loud Some people are better off linking reps. Linking reps is faster for sure, but it is more fatiguing. So
especially on the grip.
Yeah. And if your grip's toasted from the toast to bar, then something to consider.
And if you're hoping to get a muscle up, something to consider.
Yeah. So a lot of grip on this workout, but again, cleans, 30 cleans, there will be people that are well under 2 minutes, but if we say 2 to like 4 is pushing it, like if this is a heavier weight for you, but you're still toughing out the RX, it might be closer to 4 minutes, but I think faster people will be closer to 2 on the cleans.
Yeah.
Lastly, the muscle ups.
Ring muscle ups.
Ring muscle ups. So again, if we tally up our times, faster people might be done around 10 minutes to get to the muscle ups. Mm-hmm. Slower people, we're already at 18 minutes if we hit the numbers. So
and the time cap is 14.
Yeah. So for some people, it's basically how far into this can I get, right? And that's fine. Like it's still a good challenge. It's still an opportunity to work on your toes to bar, and everything else will be difficult. So again, let's not panic too much about the muscle ups.
Yeah. You have to have a high level of just work capacity and fitness to earn your way to even try a muscle ups.
And in the open, I think that's the best way to program it because it rewards the people that do have that very high level of base level of fitness, that they do get to do some of those advanced skills. And the people that aren't yet, they don't have to worry about standing there staring at the rings for 5 minutes, missing reps or whatever. So I think it's great.
Okay, I'm going to take you through the scaled version.
Yeah.
So scaled version starts with the same 60 cal row for men and women. Then we go 50 hanging knee raises. The standard is knees above the crease of the hips. Then we have 40 wall balls. The girls' weight is 10 and the guys' weight is 14.
Yeah.
The cleans are 95, 65. Mm-hmm. And then pull-ups. The chin over bar pull-ups.
Yeah.
So they usually try to have something that you'll get to a point that you can't do it. That's the point of the open, is there's got to be separators. If everybody can just do everything, it's not a good test.
Yeah.
So in the scale division, having a pull-up is a big accomplishment. Yeah. Just like in the RX division, having a muscle-up is a big accomplishment.
Yeah.
And you have to have a pretty good amount of work capacity to get there, to earn it.
Yeah.
And then the foundations division, where they say anyone, even if you're in your first 2 weeks of CrossFit, you could do this version of the workout. Much less stringent on exactly what happens, but just more of a experience a little bit of it, participate in the community. So in 14 minutes, you do 60 strokes on the rower.
Yeah.
So now we're just counting the number of pulls. Then you do 50 sit-ups. Then you do 40 wall balls with a 6-pound ball for the guys and a 10-pound ball.
Vice versa.
Sorry, 6 pound for the girls, 10 pounds for the guys, 9 feet for the girls. 30 cleans, empty barbell. So 45 for the guys, 35 for the girls, and then 20 push-ups.
Yeah.
And then it says the load is a suggested starting point. If you're completing all of the tests in the foundations division, you are free to decrease or increase the load as your skill level allows.
Yeah.
So that's very much just a
super entry level.
Yeah. So
anybody
can do that version. So let's talk about which one should you pick.
Yeah.
So because most people are going to choose between RX and scaled.
Yeah.
And both of those divisions start with 60 cals on the row for men and women. So of course, everyone's going to post an RX score because everyone's going to row 60 cals. And then from there, if you can do even one toes to bar, you're going to post 61 or 62. If you can do any toes to bar, you're going to do toes to bar. And then you're going to do as many as you can.
Yeah.
If you absolutely cannot get your toes to the bar, then you're going to do the scaled version for the rest of the workout. But the score you're going to post is 60 in the RX version. So in this workout, actually, there should be no scores posted in the scaled version.
I think there will be though, because there are some people that consider the scaled division to be a separate division.
Yeah.
And it kind of is, but it kind of isn't. If you just want to do the scaled the whole time and just see like amongst the scaled people, how do I stand? You know, how do I rank? You absolutely could just post the scaled workout that you do. But you will be ranked below everybody that RX isn't. So it really depends on whether you care enough to like rank better. If you want to rank better, for sure, just post it as an RX, because a 60 RX is better than 2 rounds completed in the scaled. So it's kind of up to what you guys are hoping to do.
I think one of the points of confusion about the open when you're not familiar with it is that there's different divisions.
Yeah.
There's only, and that you like register for RX or scaled. You do not. You just register for the open. The only divisions are like by your age category, and then there's a bunch of adaptive divisions. But there's not divisions. There's different versions of the workout. So maybe this week I do RX. Next week it starts with something I can't do, and next week I do the scaled version.
Yeah.
And so there isn't like a scaled division of the open. It's just every week there's 3 versions that you can go
And some people will they like to take the leaderboard and only look at the people that did the scaled thing, because you can't do that on the leaderboard.
Can you filter?
You can. Okay. You can filter for the scaled, but it's like it's not like a
it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, it's not like they crown a champion of the scaled division. You know, like there's basically just the open, and whatever workout you can do is fine. So
sometimes people have a little like leaderboard of them and their friends. And they're like, hey guys, we're all doing the scaled versions, and we're gonna have your leaderboard of your group or between affiliates or your brother, sister, or something like that. So.
We always try to remind people, like, it's not about the score. It's not about the number. It's just about like challenging yourself in a way that's going to be like good for you and make you feel like, okay, I did it. I did the thing, and just like put yourself out there. So,
challenge yourself and find your limits too. I do try to make the point that the open's not all happy feelings and PRs and high fives. Sometimes you get faced with shit you can't do and you're real mad about it.
Yeah.
And good.
Yeah.
Yes, get mad. My old weightlifting coach used to tell me, like, you got to leave hungry. You can't win them all. Like, you got to leave with some things being like, God damn it, I can't believe I couldn't get a freaking toes to bar.
Yeah.
And so between now and the open in 2024, you're like, I'm going to get this toes to bar before next year.
Yeah.
So yeah, even if you hit a wall, like that's part of the value of doing the open.
Yeah. So how do you personally feel about the workout for yourself?
Good question. I do remember doing it. None of these things are really my jam. I'm holding out for like the handstand push-ups and snatches or something else later on, pistols or something, little short people skills.
Yeah.
The row is the row. I want to go out on a limb and say I'm maybe better at toes to bar than I was in 2014. This will be kind of an interesting test of like when I was very much taking CrossFit seriously as a competitive athlete versus now I do it for longevity and just because I like it.
Yeah.
To see how my fitness has held up. I train a quarter of how much I used to.
Yeah.
Wall balls are wall balls. I was never good at those. I'm still mostly just skip them all the time. 30 cleans at 95 pounds is fine.
Yeah.
It'll just come down to like my overall work capacity and then my ability to still hang on the rings and maybe squeak out a rep or 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. I'm kind of hoping I'll be nearby where I was in 2014.
And if you are, I mean, that's the cool thing, right? Is like you're basically pausing time. Like this was 9 years ago, right? So even if you got, the same score, that's amazing. That's like amazing. 9 years later, you're still doing as well. Like that's awesome.
Back then I was 30. This year I'll turn 40. In between there, I made another whole person. You know, like I'd be stoked if I got even close to the same score.
Yeah, for sure.
For almost a decade later. Let's talk about how you are going to attack the open.
So I'm fairly disappointed. So I'm a dummy, and about 2 weeks ago, was it? Maybe 3, we went snowboarding, and I forgot that I was almost 45 and I went off a rail faster than I should have. And I crashed real hard and landed on my shoulder, and I had a partial dislocation of my AC joint.
He's like massaging his shoulder right now as we're talking, like, oh.
So it's still very much like not ready for a lot. I can't hang from a bar. I can't do anything overhead. And it's one of those things where it's like, it's not worth it for me to push it, because I don't want to train wreck my training for the next 6 months because I overdo it in the open. So I'm disappointed because this is very much a workout that I would like to do. And I feel like I would do well with it.
Much more of these things fall in your wheelhouse than mine, for sure.
Yeah. All these things I feel very good with. So it's super disappointing, but I'm like, you know what, whatever, there's options now. Back in 2014, there wasn't. So I am going to do the upper extremity modified version, which is basically like the adaptive version for people that either like are missing an arm or whatever. So I'm going to do 60 cals on the rower, 50 sit-ups, 40 squats with one dumbbell, 50 pounds, 30 dumbbell cleans, and then 20 pistols, which is like great. It's all good. What's hilarious is I hate pistols and I feel the same way about pistols that some people feel about muscle ups.
Yeah.
So I'm like, shit, I don't know if I'll get through these pistols or not.
And you're very good at muscle ups, which is unfortunate. And wall balls and rowing, you're good at all. Toes to bar.
I feel like I would have done very well at this workout. Yeah. So maybe another time. But you know what? I can still participate. I can still do the thing. Yeah. And it is what it is. Yeah.
So you don't literally get to participate in the upper body extremity because you're not actually an adaptive athlete, but you're just going to do that version of the workout, which means you're going to post a 60 RX.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe you want to throw one toes to bar in there.
I remember one year Ryan had a shoulder thing from when he
ruptured his bicep.
Ruptured his bicep, and he did toes to bar one arm. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe you need to get a little churny action in you.
Maybe.
Going on. There you go.
We'll see how it goes.
Okay, so should we talk about how things are going to go tomorrow? I'm going to be at the gym at 3, meeting with somebody else, but the doors will be open at 3 if you want to wander in and roll around and, start to warm up and all that.
Warm up for an hour.
What are you doing warming up for an hour? Whatever. Just want to hang out.
Yeah, if you're bored.
The workout's 14 minutes. Yeah. So we're going to do heat times every 45 minutes. So we'll do the first one at 4, 4:45, 5:15, and then 6. Is that right?
No. 4:45, 5:30,
5:30, 6:15.
Yeah.
Done by 7.
Yeah.
4 heat times. So I think we'll do 12 people in each one, which means 6 people are going to go first.
Yeah.
So that everybody can have their choice of their favorite pull-up bar. We don't have to fight over it too much.
Some rowers in the warm-up area and all that.
Yeah. So we won't be too cramped or too rushed or anything. And then we'll take 5 or 10 minutes in between. Then you guys will switch places. So the other person will work out, the other person will judge.
Yeah.
And then we'll have another 5 minutes in between before the next heat comes in. So when you come in and you're signing up for a heat time, you need to be prepared to be both the athlete and the judge.
Right.
It does not matter if you're registered for the open or not. You are doing the open in the sense that you have to do the workout properly and you have to know what the standards are to judge someone else. Do not show up tomorrow if you have not read the standards and watched the little 2-minute video. You just have to do it. And every year I say that, and every year we do a whiteboard brief and people are like, what's the workout? You have to know what's going on.
Yeah.
Because, and more importantly, as a judge, you have to know what's going on. I don't care if you screw up your own workout, but you can't screw up someone else's.
Yeah.
So you have to be prepared. When you're judging, if you've never done this before, your job is to keep an accurate count and to uphold the standards to exactly what they've specified are. Your job is not to be a cheerleader. Your job is not to coach people on their technique. Not at all. You have 2 jobs, and that's accurate rep count and accurate standards.
Yeah.
So get those no reps warmed up. We're all friends in the end. Whatever happens during the WOD, we set aside.
Yeah.
You're not doing anyone any favors by lowering the standards and being dishonest. You should not feel bad for giving a no rep if it's just not a rep. This is just reality. This isn't an insult.
Yeah.
It either is or isn't. And for you to allow bad reps and call them good reps is a disservice to the other athletes that are actually maintaining the standards.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
The integrity of the competition rests on the judges. And then David and I will float around as sort of like the head judges and make sure, be like, that squat's not low enough on that wall ball. And then your job as the athlete is to give your judge nothing to question.
Yeah.
You don't want to get any no reps? I'll tell you exactly how to do it. Make every rep obviously legit. That's all you have to do. Don't ride the line with your squats where you're like, was that below parallel or was it not? The answer is not. If the judge is even giving it a little squint, The answer is no.
Yeah.
It needs to be clearly below parallel, clearly hitting the target. Toes need to clearly touch the bar.
Yeah.
Cleans need to be clearly stood up with the elbows in front.
Brio principle number 3.
Leave no doubt. Yeah, that's our integrity piece. If you do get to the muscle ups, must start from a full extension, must finish at full lockout.
Yeah.
I think I remember this one, and tragically having to no rep a guy who got one muscle up like 3 seconds before the buzzer because he didn't start with his elbows extended. And I was like, I'm sorry, that one didn't count, because he started in a flexed arm hang and then just like scooched over. And I was like, there was no more time for him to get another one.
Yeah.
I was like, no rep, no rep. I'm sorry. No rep. I'm sorry. So bust out those judge shirts. If you got one from one of the many that I stole from the games last year.
Yeah. So I think this is a great workout. It's totally the type of stuff that we do. I think everybody should come and participate, whether you're like officially doing the open or not. And honestly, you just should. It's like you've said to a few people, like, if you don't think CrossFit's giving you $20 worth of value in your life, like, come on, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
So I would just sign up and just be part of the real thing. Even if you don't want to, though, come in, book yourself in for a time, put yourself out there. It's a great time and a good way to kind of push yourself.
Mm-hmm. Someone asked me a great question today, which was, hey, should I also do the WOD in the morning tomorrow? Yeah. So the morning classes are doing something different. It's not the open workout. Yeah. I'm just pulling up what we have on deck for tomorrow.
It's handstand walks, dumbbell snatches, and double unders?
10 rounds of 2 wall walks, 12 dumbbell snatches, 30 double unders, and some farmer carry and sandbag carry as a cash out. So, and I said, hold on, let's wait and see what the open workout is, and then you can decide. Yeah. So if you're actually really trying to make a run at the RX version, I would say don't do those things in the morning. No. Just come in fresh. But if you're like, hey, I'm going to do my 60 cal row, and then I'm going to spend 9 or 10 more minutes trying to get as many toes to bar as I can, and maybe I'll get 10 or maybe 20 or something, then you could probably come do the other workout in the morning, and you're just basically going to do a little row and try to PR the number of toes to bar you've ever done.
Yeah.
And if you're going to do the scaled version and you're going to try to crush it and go as fast as you can at the scaled, then same thing. I would not also do the morning workout. So very dependent on how you're planning on attacking this workout, the strategy of it. As
the programmer, it's always very difficult to program around the open. So I apologize in advance if we end up doing something that's similar, but you know, you just got to be smart. If you're really pushing for the open, you got to like take a rest day on Thursday, be fresh on Friday, and then make good choices on Saturday. If the workout works out, great. And if not, then take another rest day and work out on Sunday.
Today was our 40-minute EMOM of just the cardio stuff, which is a great, just like move a little, slightly more than an active recovery day, but not going to make you crazy sore in any particular way. So hopefully you're fresh for tomorrow. If you cannot make it on Friday, you will need to make some arrangements to get it done before when the scores are due on Monday. Yeah. So message us if you need to, if we're looking at a different time, like Saturday morning, Sunday morning, Monday, open gym after, like, we'll just have to find a time. You will most likely need to arrange your own judge to come with you. Yeah. And I had kind of said, like, it will depend on what the workout is, if we can do it during a class, because sometimes we need like 25 feet of lunging space or handstand walking, in which case we can't do it during a class. This one you could do in a little corner, and we can park you away somewhere if you need to on like Sunday morning or something. So shoot us a message if we need to make other arrangements, but try your best to be there on Friday. It's a fun time with the community. We're going to have some bubblies and some beers. And I think we might throw a few of those non-alcoholic athlete beers in there too, if you want to have a beer but not wreck your gains with actual alcohol. Emma Love's going to be on hand to take more beautiful photos for us. She's the one all over our website and all over our Instagram, then making you guys look good. Yep. So it's always a fun time.
Awesome. Looking forward to it.
See you tomorrow.